Oh, Jesus.
It's crazy.
I'm quickly typing up a ping right now.
Typing up. Oh, yeah. Fuck. I forgot to send the ping out.
I'm quickly typing a ping.
Oh, man. God. Welcome.
It's just, I mean, you know, it's the sort of Christmas period. People have got a bunch of things on and have their heads in other areas, you know, thinking of other things.
Terrible.
So, like, it's understandable.
Terrible.
Anyway,
by the way,
welcome, guys. I'll let you do the intro.
Oh, yeah. Welcome. It's December 9th, 2023. It's Push to Talk, episode 8 gazillion. Okay? That's what it is. And by the way, Soth was really rude when we were in the pre-show thing because I was talking for 23 minutes or so about like Amazon horror stories with drivers, and he was like, "By the way, we're going live because I've been ignoring you. I've been ignoring you for 20 minutes now. Are you ready to go live?"
Sothra still doesn't want to hear anything about the horrors of Amazon delivery drivers because like he thinks Amazon is just an amazing company that can do no wrong, isn't it, Sothra?
Yeah,
it's not right. Hey, it's Amazon doesn't do the deliveries. Eric does. All right. All of them, worldwide, motherfucker.
A lot of people think that it's Amazon just because it has Amazon on the side of the truck, right, or the van or whatever.
By the way, they did it. They tried it for like 6 months and said, "Holy shit, we can't do this." So anyway, but yeah. But by the way, it was a good story about a really good team of drivers who were being screwed over by one guy who didn't care about them, and he couldn't be on the team because he just didn't have a team attitude. He was like, didn't care about his teammates. I had to get rid of him. So, you know, yeah, you're a team. Whether you are in the same alliance, right, in the same group in Eve, or you're at work, you're always a team. And that's the most important thing. That's the basis of everything that you do in your life, right? You're a team. Dawn is here. We're going to have the food segment, all right?
What?
There is no Iskin team. I like that, Vasilov.
I do like that. No, there is no Iskin team.
You know what? Dawn did come up with a great slogan for a new t-shirt. What was that earlier, Dawn? Do you remember?
Mind rocks, bitch.
Just mind the rocks, bitch. All right. And by the way, we should put a Push to Talk logo on that and sell it. Just mind the rocks, bitch. I love it.
Like 10 people will buy it for them and their alts.
I mean, we missed the opportunity for our was it the Delve Time unit, like selling merch for Delve Time unit stuff. So like we have to find we have to make sure that when we get another slogan and stuff like that, like we need to capitalize on that one.
We should have like done our own like cryptocurrency, the Delve Time unit, right? Like a shirt with like a cryptocurrency little logo, right?
Yeah.
And it's like fuck you, Hilmar. We actually have a goon cryptocurrency. Fuck you.
Right. Let's see if I can let's see if this ping works again. Like, hey, there we go. That works. Apparently, uppercase INN on the it has to be case sensitive, apparently, the command. So, but I didn't realize. Anyway.
I hate case sensitive commands and shit. They're just like dumb.
Yeah.
Sorry, hey, I did find we're cleaning up the office, okay?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I don't know what year I got this, but this is a Father's Day. This is the biggest pen I have ever seen for like a hand. All right, it says
sizable pen.
It says super deluxe dad. I don't know. Am I like a McDonald's sandwich? I'm not sure. Like a burger. Super deluxe.
I never know.
You know, I don't even know which child bought that. Neither do they. So, yeah.
I think when you asked them, they thought it was like some, you know, Inquisition. Potentially.
Oh, new follower, Black Fang.
Hey, welcome to the club. Anyway, yeah. There's a bunch of Eve stuff to talk about, but like, you know, we have to be respectful of Dawn and not talk about those Eve topics because, you know.
Wow.
I have to answer Vasilov though. It's the super deluxe with cheese in France. Okay. There you go.
Super deluxe with cheese. Okay.
Yeah. He goes, what is it? It's a Royale with cheese.
That's a Royale with cheese. Yep. As was said on Pulp Fiction.
Hey, Vasilov, I couldn't have said it if you didn't bring it up. So it was a great lead-in. Awesome. So yeah.
And that's how you know the show is actually live.
That's right. You just remember the 8 o'clock show is different from the 11 o'clock show. Or the 11 o'clock show is different. That's the 11 o'clock show is different from the 8 o'clock show.
Listen, I'm sick. Let's go.
Look at. Oh yeah, Dawn is sick.
And the reason why I say this show, this is how you know this show is live, is because obviously Twitch doesn't do premieres, but I did watch something which I know Sothrasil is interested in, and probably there's a few people in the sort of in chat that are maybe interested in, old school retro gaming and such things. But I actually watched the premiere of the Billy Mitchell story live on Veritas's Twitch channel when he actually had it live, like when he was doing it live. How did you find that, Soth?
Okay,
hang on. Firstly, are you intrinsically or prior to that in any way interested in retro games?
Interested?
Passing
yes,
fascination.
Yeah, it's fascination, not more.
Okay.
Right. I knew most of the Billy Mitchell story already. From actually that YouTuber that got sued by Billy Mitchell.
Carl Yorst.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta find the Billy Mitchell.
So we should
thing.
I mean, do you know Billy? Have you heard of Billy Mitchell, Eric?
Hey, we gotta be careful about talking about Billy Mitchell. We might get sued.
Sue us, motherfucker!
Yeah,
come at us.
Go for it. From what we've seen, he's pretty terrible at being able to deal with that. So, but hey,
hold it. We'll play the video, but I turned the sound off. Is that cool?
Oh god, yeah.
You can't play the video. It's 3.5 hours long.
Yeah, it's 3.5 hours long, and it is not. It's Veritas's video and all that kind of stuff. But
wrong button. Okay, we gotta go to like 5 screens here. Sorry about that. All right, here we are. We're right there. The biggest lie in video game history. The Billy Mitchell.
Yeah, it is well researched. So if you have not heard of the truth behind Billy Mitchell, the self-appointed greatest gamer ever.
Well, yeah. So we should probably, give a very quick kind of synopsis, or not synopsis, very quick kind of intro to who Billy Mitchell is, right? From what I know is, and most of it is basically from this video, really to be fair, it is he was one of the OG retro gamers when gaming was essentially just at arcades and stuff. And he essentially held multiple world records in high scores in multiple retro games like Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, so his Pac-Man score I don't think was ever in doubt. But there were some questionable things about his scores in Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. Most of the questionable things were around him using an emulator, which is a proven fact.
Yeah, from what I can see, there can be no doubt as to whether he was using an emulator.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like the most solid and compelling evidence that I've ever seen. Like something like that.
And he keeps talking himself out of that, and then sends his raving fanboys after people who say anything bad about him.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have the high score in Frogger, so I don't know if I really give a shit, because Frogger's a shit, man.
I mean, are you really a gamer are you really a gamer if you haven't tried to get the world's highest score in Snake?
Hey,
like honestly.
Frogger.
There's only
Tetris,
one max score.
What was that one where you
just like Bejeweled, there is a max score.
where you went around the whatever little cube or thing and you shot stuff down there. I forget what that one was. That was cool.
See,
I like that.
What I found was the most hilarious thing is he did was like more than 20 years after the supposed high score happened, he went on and publicly played again and got around 1 million points. Right? I think he did it on Twitch.
Hold it. He pulled a Biden right there. He fell down going upstairs. Okay, sorry.
So
he must be old as fuck.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I'm going to prove my point. I'm going to prove that I did those high scores 20 years ago by now doing the high score again 20 years later, when the actual new record is like 20."
Yeah, push the wrong button, guys. Sorry about that. We're not going live soon. We're live. We're just, bad Eric.
Oh, he pressed the wrong button. Oops.
But yeah, if you like documentaries, for example, about gaming, then you should watch that video.
I mean, if you like documentaries about gaming, yeah, but like I also got the very very real kind of feeling in this documentary that it was watching the systematic demolition of somebody, of basically a sham and charlatan getting completely bulldozed by by geeks, essentially, right? Like by nerds who really know what the fuck they're talking about.
By the way,
I think you just need to watch the last section of the video.
Oh,
where
I mean,
his lawyer's like, just shut the fuck up and answer the question.
I mean, the last section is great. I mean, it is like great car crash TV, but there's this degree of there's kind of like a lot of satisfaction going through it and kind of getting the hints to know what's going to happen next in the in the documentary as such. I love the bit where because I asked you, Soth, whether you'd gotten to the worst case scenario bit yet.
Yeah.
Was that really, really fun when you actually got to that bit?
Oh,
enjoying watching just the level of insanity that you can go to and still be able to tell, that you can tell whether something was an emulation or actually running on a real machine. It was fucking fantastic.
By the way, to address Rectum 767's comment in there, okay? It's all about Imperium News, because Imperium News, whatever the hell we want it to be on this show, because we talk about whatever the fuck we want. It's like Seinfeld.
Yeah,
We're better. We're way better than that show. It's just
So Soth is in the Imperium. He watched this and I know that he commented and enjoyed it. It's part of what he enjoyed this week, and so it's news, right? It's the news is what we make it to be in Imperium. That's by Imperium for Imperium.
We set the news trends.
There's other non-Eve gaming stuff we can talk about.
Yeah, and we are going to get to the who mentioned it here? I'm looking in this.
Someday I'll stop coughing.
Whatever. Something about Asher shopping at Costco, which I want to know the answer to some of that stuff. I want to delve into that, right? And Rectum, I know you're just giving us a hard time because we're having fun with it.
I'll give Mac a low ball here.
Right.
So Todd Howard says it took them 7 years to make Starfield fun.
I mean, it's a low ball, yeah, but like clearly the mod developers don't think that Starfield is fun, regardless of how long they work on it. Right?
Yep.
Let's okay, Eric.
Are you trying to reference something that I
there we go.
Did I reference correctly? Like you have a kind of a grin going. You have this look to you that like I didn't quite get what you were talking about.
No, it's just that I'm referencing the article you linked, which I didn't read because I didn't have time to read it.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. That's fine, because that's what I thought you were referencing. So basically, there is as up on the screen, a Games Radar kind of article about basically, how we'd all said, Starfield is not exactly a great game. It might be okay. Depending on your level of what a good game is and what a good game isn't. I think Sothrasill's idea of what a good game is far above what other people think a good game is. And if you think Starfield is a good game, you should kind of try more games, I guess, because
we do have to say here, like you can totally have fun with a bad game. Right?
No, yeah.
Like no one is invalidating your fun.
No, but the level of fun that you can have in other games might be higher. Like
I don't know. Frogger's
it depends.
Fucking good.
It depends. It
especially
really
on the
depends.
Atari, like on the Atari with the joystick.
But there's always been this like idea of third-party modders would make the game better. And apparently one of the most notorious and one of the best modders for Skyrim has basically decided to say, go fuck yourself to Bethesda when trying to mod trying to develop a decent mod for Starfield, because in his what was it in his words? It was trash.
I believe
let me find it.
It's F trash.
Yeah, fucking trash.
This game is F trash. I'm not sure what those asterisks is in the topic there are trying to hide or
yeah. So he's basically,
I'm not sure. It's frustrating. I think it's
fuck.
Frustrating trash. I think that's what
frustrating trash is probably yes. I think he's missed a few stars there, but like essentially that's what it is, right?
Well, it would have made the title too long, Yeah,
because it's so short and succinct right now.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe they're just like it's so long already. We'll dial it back a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. But this is one of the things, it's like if you're hoping that modders will help the longevity of your game, try and make it at least okay for them to mod. And clearly that's not the case.
Kind of like remember that you fucked them over with your last game multiple times.
Oh God, yeah, like with Fallout 4, right?
No, also with Skyrim.
Oh, okay.
I completely forgot about 76, to be honest.
Oh yeah, and 76.
I forgot that it exists, which is probably for the better.
Because they had a situation where they basically was that the one where they actually basically said that any content that you create in this is basically our intellectual property, and we can make money out of it, and you can't.
The first thing they did was they introduced paid mods that you actually have to buy.
Because
and then they went around and were like, model. Hey, you know what? Actually, you're creating this with our IP, so we own all of your intellectual property now.
No. I'm wondering whether that was Bethesda or whether that was for World of Warcraft or Warcraft 4. I think I might be getting a couple of those mixed up. I'm fairly certain I have, actually.
You know what? I just thought of a great little,
Nope, it was Bethesda.
Yeah.
It was Bethesda. Oh, okay. So.
Yep.
A great little blurb we could do for the show. Okay. You know, in Iron Man when he goes, yeah, you know what? I am Iron Man, right? We could all be sitting here going, you know what? We are Imperium News.
I mean, we're on Imperium News.
But we could do that for all the shows.
Imperium News.
We could do that for all the shows, right? It could be like the new Imperium News little thing. Well, you know, my head is definitely in the show today, right? So, you know, it's awesome. So, Texas IP law loophole.
Possible. It's possible. I guess it's possible.
Yeah. We'll tell Lex Shifter. Somebody. You know,
so 23 minutes past the hour.
I know, but I have one more non-Eve thing to ask.
Okay.
Everybody done decorating for Christmas? Are you all decorated? I don't see a tree at Sauce Place. I don't see a tree at McLeod's place. I don't see a tree at my place. But normally we do the sci-fi tree.
You are in the dark recesses of what seems to be blackness. So. There's a serious absence of tree there.
I know. Normally we do have tree cam.
But that's because I don't put a tree in my studio room. So you know,
I used to put one in the office, but now that so many people work out of the office, we're out of room for a tree. And Mrs. Erik yelled at me. She's like, "Why do we need 4 trees in the house?" And I'm like, "Okay, we'll have 2, and we'll put 1 outside." She goes, "Why do we need to have 2?" I said, "Well, you know, we have the family tree, and then your daughter wants her own special tree." You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a picture of this next show. I'm going to take a picture of my daughter's tree as it exists right now. Okay.
And then just put it in the background.
Hold on. No. I'm gonna not this show, next show, right? And I want to show you guys the progress of putting ornaments on her tree that she made, putting ornaments on her tree for 4 hours straight. So tune in next week to find out exactly how far she got.
See, GB, a Christmas tree on a green screen, it would be hilarious, teaser. But I think in a way that you're not thinking, it would be even more hilarious. Mm-hmm. As in, take a green screen backdrop and then literally draw on the green screen a Christmas tree, and then don't green screen the green screen. Just have the green screen in the background with a tree drawn on it.
That'd be cool. I like that. I don't have a green screen though. So.
It's like you fundamentally didn't get the sort of the actual idea of putting a green screen on the putting a tree on the green screen.
They went and so you know. This is, somebody who has never really in their life really picked out Christmas decorations, right? Yeah. One of the big things to do is you always plug your lights in to make sure they light when you buy them, right? And all that stuff. So if you buy maybe if you buy a star, you might plug it in to make sure it works. So they bought this star 4 weeks ago for my daughter's tree. She wanted a new star. And they plug it in and it doesn't work. And I'm like, well, what's not working? And they're like, we don't know. We plug it in, it doesn't work. I'm like, well, is it the little power supply down here? Is it the plug that goes into the power supply? Or is it something else? Right? And they're like, we don't know.
There should be a test. Should be a test of their, of their troubleshooting kind of skills.
And by the way, this is a couple days ago. They're like, we're just gonna have to take it back and get a new one. I'm like, there won't be any.
Yeah, you'll take it back, and they'll be like, we can't give you a replacement until January 2nd.
Yeah, there's only a couple places, right? So I get out the little electric power tester. Okay, that works. Okay, we got it there. Oh, look, there's no power after this little piece connects into the star. Oh, I'll just fix that.
Cool. There we go.
Dad is the most awesome dude in the world when that happens. Okay.
Yeah. A bit of critical thinking and some DIY know-how, and you're there.
But I will tell you, the methodology is to decorating the tree is to decorate a section with all the different colored bulbs. There are white, just make silver, sure you also gold, shiny gold, all this, right? And rather than evenly distributing one color across the entire tree and then filling in with the next color and filling in with the next color to get nice distribution, no, she's working from the bottom all the way up, one little row at a time, 4 hours.
I would just say if you are going to do DIY on electronics, like make sure you have a current tester. And
yep.
Ideally don't be playing about with wires when it's actually plugged into the mains.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea.
It's low voltage, so I was okay.
Yeah, I know, but like, you know, as a sort of PSA out there, we don't want people electrocuting themselves by going, oh right, I can just fix this myself.
And
do it responsibly.
In our house, the border on the outside, like the borders of the house, like all the straight angles and edges, right? We have C9 bulbs, which are pretty big, but they're LED and they look like real bulbs because it's like the bent glowing filament thing, right? It's not an actual single LED bulb or something, right? So we have that all around our house, and we've had that for years. But we also have the mini twinkly lights other places, right? And Twinkly just came out with those C9s, but they were sold out everywhere. I couldn't get them. I would have replaced all those, and I'd be like, what color do I want today? Click.
Oh, it's Eve time, by the way.
Oh yeah, Eve time. Hammer time.
Eve, yeah.
That's what we need. We need that video when it's Eve time.
So what do you want to talk about Eve wise, Dawn?
I didn't say I want it. You said there were things to talk about in Eve.
Yeah, there is. But
what is? What is there to talk about in Eve?
You seem to want to talk about something.
No, I just looked down. I was like, "Oh, you guys have been ranting about nonsense for 20
We're gonna go right here.
We're
gonna go right here.
Do you not have a show with which to to rant?
Look at this.
Or to vent?
We have a new bee.
There is a new bee in the catalog of Imperium bees. Yes.
Is this the new bee?
Is that the brave bee?
That is the brave bee.
The little blue one?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I got to take a little thing of this, okay? You know, the bill is straight. You got to curve that motherfucking bill, okay? Curve it. Bend it. Curve it.
That's not the brave bee.
That's what brave bee I was given. I'm just saying.
What's the brave bee? Well, if you know different,
that's the brave bee now.
Brave bee.
No, there's a really cute one of a little bee that's blue and it's rolling on itself.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, yeah, well, that's the alternative.
Here you go. Alternative bee. Here you go. Do you feel better now? Okay. This is like I'm tumbling in space forever.
I mean that
no lateral control. Okay.
That just with all sorts of random. That with all sorts of random backgrounds is basically like an old school internet meme as well.
Yeah. There you go.
That's the cuter one.
Well, since when are we doing animated bees? Does that mean I need to get my bee animated now?
Dawn,
your little Macarial running around.
Dawn seemed to say that
your little zoom. Like, how would you animate your Macarial bee though? Like, just
well,
like
I mean, first of all,
fly through.
The wings would be flapping, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I have to add some guns to it that are firing, definitely.
Like
and every so often it needs to blink.
Like the big guns on my bee. That's a gun.
Yeah, I think yours should just fire off a bunch of rounds and just like, fucking flame, like a big fucking, fucking flame thing kind of coming out the front. Yeah, that would work.
Pew, pew.
Okay. So in Eve, the winter event's out. People are doing that.
Yeah, I have to tell you, no one gives a fuck about the events.
No, I was
about to say.
No, I gotta say, hold on. There is something new. There's something new about it, though. This year, the Rex are little presents. They're little.
I mean,
they're little presents.
That's
and then when you open a Rex, it opens the present.
Does it come up with the little window of the window when you're opening like a crate or something? Like it opens a present.
No, it opens up the center and has like little tear edges. So it looks like a torn open box.
It does does it like a little explosion of sparkling glitter come out too? Because that would be cool.
No, there's no glitter.
That would be
But
cool.
that was cute. That's the first time. So normally they only do the pumpkins for Halloween. So them doing little presents for winter is pretty cute.
I'm glad they're venturing out on that. Like clearly it's something.
So now
that
for Valentine's Day, we should get little hearts.
I like what GB said over there. At Easter, the Easter egg Rex turn into omelets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the eggs are supposed to be cooked, right? So,
have you ever cooked an Easter egg?
Omelet?
Well, they're not going to turn into quiche.
So, have you been cooking your chocolate Easter eggs?
The chocolate one? No. You know, we actually hide actual eggs here for Easter, right?
So do we.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
And those we cook.
That's fair. If it is a raw egg, you probably should cook it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, we live in Europe, so we could actually eat them raw, right?
I've eaten them raw.
And that's what I think that's one of the things, like, as well, is like, you know, you can if you like your yolks runny and stuff like that, you don't have this like concerned aspect of have I cooked it enough for it to not be fucking dangerous. It's actually okay.
Or when you're making cookies and you're like, hey, I'm just gonna eat the dough.
Is this dough yummy enough? Let me test. It's like
Toll House cookie dough, baby. Toll House cookie dough is so good.
I mean, the only dough where I wouldn't do that is if there's a lot of baking powder in it.
That's true.
I'm just saying it. You know, here in the Berg, we call those undercooked yolk eggs dippy eggs. Then they're dippy eggs.
You guys are gross as fuck.
So Veritas in chat, not Veritas in chat, but Veritas in chat. Salmonella doesn't exist in Europe. It does exist in Europe. It's just we have higher standards for our egg production and egg.
Look, okay, I'll explain this to you. An egg has a natural protection around its shell, right?
Uh-huh.
When you wash the egg, you remove that layer, right? Mm-hmm. So in the US, eggs get washed
and pasteurized,
and then they get pasteurized and refrigerated most of the time. In Europe, we don't do that. We don't wash our eggs, right? And so we keep that protective layer. And the salmonella is usually on the outside of the egg, right? It can't get inside.
Yeah.
So you have to watch out with salmonella when you are cracking open an egg, right?
Mm.
Because it can still be on the shell.
Yeah, we don't pasteurize them when they're in the shell.
How do you have pasteurized?
Yeah, but you do wash your eggs.
Yeah.
Apparently, because they come out of a chicken's ass.
Yeah, so what?
All right, it's the ass.
Mm-hmm.
With the poop. So we wash that up. We're okay.
Yeah, we don't.
We live. We survive.
As do we, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's just that's just the difference, right? That's why Americans have to keep their eggs refrigerated, and we in Europe don't, right? We can just keep them on the kitchen counter for a week.
That's fine. I have a refrigerator. Actually, I have 2. I'm good, and a freezer. We're okay. I eat eggs every day.
2 American-sized fridge freezers. That's quite crazy.
We have one that won't.
I thought one was enough.
Just to be clear, we have one that won't die from like 30 years ago before we were even married.
Okay.
Okay, back when they made refrigerators that didn't die, and then when we got married and bought a refrigerator, they die every 5 years. So we're on our 3rd refrigerator upstairs, but downstairs refrigerator and freezer, they're like 8 centuries old or something. They're from the Dark Ages, actually. They're such well design.
See, I've got a sizable deep freezer for like meat and like that kind of thing. So
yeah, but
there is that.
See, you don't do that in Europe because of electricity prices. It's actually worth buying a new fridge every like 3 to 5 years, just because of the electricity that you.
So send that son of a bitch out to the landfill every 3 to 5 years. That's I have solar power. Best, I don't give a fuck. I have solar. I don't care.
See that is, if an American would say like, I don't care, I don't give a fuck, that's to me is a little bit kind of like, it's a little ignorant. But if you say I've got solar power, I don't give a fuck, then I'm like, fair play to you, mate. That's fine.
Yeah, I like not sending it to the landfill. It's good, Yeah.
Well, they don't exactly get sent to a landfill here either, right?
Yeah, and that's that's one of the strange things.
So the hilarious thing about
go ahead. You go.
You know the kind of maddening thing about some of the sort of recycling incentive sort of stuff that happens, and I don't know whether this happens in Europe. It probably happens in certain areas of Europe as well as the way that it happens in the UK. But like to some degree, recycled just means we're going to put it into a separate thing and then combine it with non-recyclable stuff and just chuck it into the same place.
Yes, that happens all the time.
Which is fucking maddening to me. Like, it's like, if you're going to recycle something, if you're going to request people to separate things out to recycle stuff, then actually go and fucking recycle it and, reintroduce it back into, the production chain and all that kind of stuff. So we can remake things with it, etc., reutilize it and stuff. If you're just gonna bunch it all back together and put it in a landfill, then there's no fucking point, right?
You can have the
bit agitated by that.
The opposite, like an example for the opposite is aluminium. Over 90% of the aluminium that we buy and use is recycled.
Yeah, and that's like a good.
What's aluminium? I don't understand.
It's a new alloy.
It's the pro version of aluminum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets paid more. It gets paid more to be what it is, right?
It's premium because it has an extra eye.
There you go.
But by the way, we got a bit sidetracked. Should we go back to Eve?
Back to Eve.
Back to Eve.
We get this. This happens. This happens on this show quite often.
Should we talk about?
I would say.
Should we let the viewers decide if we go for the nice and cozy topic or the enraged topic?
The enraged meant like we're gonna burst a blood cell kind of topic. I do love the fact that when presented with all the Eve related topics that we could talk about. That's happened or kind of occurred this week, that Dawn went for the most milksop one available.
No, I don't know. I've been sick all week. I don't know what the fuck is going on. That you guys.
If you've been sick all week, then you could just chill out and watch social media going crazy.
No, I can't. I've been sleeping all day. Okay. I slept for 15 hours on to Wednesday.
Oh my god!
I'm exhausted.
Apparently, the vote by one person is for enraged. So,
I mean, I think GB also adds to that, so that's a 2-0.
The new China bug. Yeah, no, she has the old China bug.
So interestingly enough, this didn't really pop off on the Eve subreddit, right? Strangely enough, it didn't.
Do I have this?
It wasn't
link?
It is somewhere. Yeah, it's Eve 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Sadly, before we go into this, I have to tell you guys that I can neither deny nor confirm anything.
It's okay. Like you participate in at the level that you feel comfortable with, Sulthrasil.
Yeah. We don't want to take you out of your comfort zone.
It'll be the stuff that's a little higher. than the other random things. It's, scroll
Oh,
up.
I got it.
So this appeared on this initially appeared on Twitter, right? And then it was, posted to the subreddit, right? It was a post by a person called Muad'Dib. Obviously has an Eve avatar of some form in his sort of in his like Twitter bio.
MD,
whatever,
by
right?
the way, Muad'Dib, MD.
Yeah.
So Dr. Muad'Dib.
Yeah. Translated by Google from Polish to English. So he's Polish in some way, shape, or form. And it was basically saying history is happening before our eyes, testing Project Awakening, which is in fact EVE Online on blockchain. Copy ? Yes, and very good. Why the hell reinvent the wheel? It was not without reason that it was once said that EVE was a second life. However, also Star Atlas has competition. I don't know what Star Atlas is as such. Anybody can, enlighten me on that. But essentially, this guy is saying that Project Awakening is basically EVE, but on blockchain. Whether it is a carbon copy of EVE, we don't 100% know, but it seems as though that's what he's saying. He says it's very good, and he says, why the hell reinvent the wheel? So, why reinvent? Why remake? Why redevelop or why make a game like EVE if you can just copy EVE? I think that's
Okay, so if this is a copy of EVE, right?
Yeah.
Let's just speculate here.
Yeah, this is speculation, right?
If this is a copy of EVE, let's say they changed a few things. Maybe they didn't copy everything over. I don't know. But still, it's a copy of EVE, right? If they did that, there's still a big problem with this. Some people will want to get into this new game, even if it's literally the same as EVE, because it's a new start, right? You start from the beginning again. You don't have those massive blocks that are already established.
Yeah.
Some people will want to stay on the old EVE because, again, they are already established there. They already have all their stuff there, right?
And skill points.
So essentially, this is going to split the player base, right?
I mean, it could eventually. It could split the player base. If it is literally a carbon copy of EVE, just on a different server with some blockchain stuff bolted onto it, right? It's not like EVE hasn't had other servers. We've had the Serenity server for China, and it's not like people outside of China couldn't go and play the China server. You had people like Rooks and Kings, essentially move from Tranquility and go play on Serenity. So it is possible previously to go and play a different version of EVE on a different server, So it is something that has been done. It's just, I think everybody got the impression from what we've heard Hilmar say is that EVE Awakening was going to be a different game, but just have EVE assets, EVE lore, and be kind of, pardon the sort of tangentially in the EVE universe, right? I don't think people thought that it was just basically going to be a copy-paste of EVE Online. And I'm not sure whether Seema in chat is it has that impression that it was going to be EVE, a different form of EVE, redesigned, redeveloped, that kind of thing, or if Seema, you thought that that the impression was that it was literally going to be a carbon copy of EVE. I don't know. But I got the impression, at least from what I saw, that it was going to be a reimagined, redeveloped, redone kind of version of Eve, but not just a copy paste of Eve.
I mean, they only had $40 million, right?
Only.
Yeah, there's not much. I mean, the thing is, it's not much because, like, you know, only $40 million. But then again, when you look at sort of how much games cost these days, like we had the unfortunate early release of the trailer for GTA 5, right? And that game apparently has cost $1 billion to develop.
I mean, yeah, sure, but let's take the game of the year. Baldur's Gate 3 had a budget of $100 million.
Yeah.
Right. So that's not that much more than 40. Considering they already have assets, as you said, they already have
yeah, they already have art assets, they already have like lore, they already have like storylines and stuff like that, right? Like they can dip into.
Exactly. They already have like the servers, right? They don't need to invest in tech.
They already know and, you know, are well versed in how to market and where to market and what the prices and stuff like that for marketing is going to be. They may not feel comfortable with marketing Awakening to the current Eve player base, and rightfully so, I think. But you know, I think they know enough about marketing to know how to, you know, what the cost would be for that and where to go to do it, right? As well.
Well, so GB is saying, and I quote here, the crypto game leaks it's basically Eve with Plex replaced with blockchain. End of quote.
I mean, I don't know where that is.
If that's true,
if that's true, then damn.
Then what did they do with the other $38 million?
Exactly right. They put it into. They put it in
coke and hookers.
I mean, they probably put it into crypto, right? the concerning thing about that. So right now, right, this is kind of really the only thing semi-concrete to go on, right? And I say semi-concrete because there's no actual like official thing saying this guy is correct, right? The only thing that we have in that Reddit thread, right, is an unfortunate comment, and you have to scroll quite a way down to actually find it. Unfortunately, shit, where is it?
Scrolling. Are you looking for Zealous?
Yeah, I'm looking for
Zealous. It's all the way down.
Yeah. I found it. It's because it's the unfortunate thing is it's not readily apparent because it's at a negative 43 karma.
Oh, it does it actually show now?
It doesn't show, but like it's you have to expand it to show it, right? But I kind of think because we know Zealous, like he's not one to sort of fucking say something terrible. So I kind of feel like he was just somebody who was available to make a comment regarding this, and so he outsourced it and said, "Hey, I need to find. I need a comment from the team that I can post that would be okay for you guys to post. So instead of me just posting some random thing and then having to walk it back, etc., I need something from you guys to post that you're okay with me posting that can kind of, put a lid on this, right?" And I kind of feel like this is what he got, and so he posted it and basically said, "CCP Games has become aware of an individual under NDA who has decided to leak information about our ongoing Phase 2 playtest for our Project Awakening title, which is currently in its pre-alpha development stage. CCP's never shied away from the possibilities of using new and innovative technologies in its projects. As we've seen in EVE Online Single Shard Universe, we have nothing further to share today, but the development continues. We look forward to updating the rest of the EVE community as our progress. Which is kind of like, it does sound sort of boilerplate, like, you know, somebody did something bad and it's, you know, and,
that's lawyer boilerplate,
etc., right? Sure. You know, it kind of feels like it was washed through a lawyer. But the important thing about this entire bit is that they haven't like invalidated anything that the guy said, right?
They've just said two ways. There's two ways, yeah. Right?
Okay. Okay.
First is CCP saw this coming and already had a response prepared. Right, and Zealous was just the guy who saw it first on Reddit and just copy pasted the prepared statement from CCP, which I mean CCP should have seen this coming. We all saw it happening before it did, because like putting an NDA on something in the fucking launcher and not having people actually sign something, and then it's people who are into crypto stuff, and you trust these people not to break the NDA, really? Yeah, everyone saw this coming. Come on. So I mean, they totally could have had something prepared, right?
I mean, the way I kind of see it is, if you could have had something prepared, you could have kind of just basically said, you know, this person, what was leaked is, not accurate, right?
It sounds like they knew who it is, too.
You could easily have said, like, this, the information that was made available in public is not accurate, you know, and as a company, we, you know, don't like defamatory things said about products in development, right? That basically puts to bed whether the stuff is, you know, accurate or not. But they haven't said that. They've just basically said that this person who has leaked stuff is an individual under NDA. So he is legit. He's not just some random person who decided to, you know, not know anything about the product, but talk about random stuff that he doesn't know, and just, you know, in the idea that he can say it and not have anybody disprove it because they're under NDA, and they can't disprove it because that would be breaking the NDA. You know, he is somebody who is under NDA. CCP have said that he is under NDA, right? And that he has decided to leak information about the product.
Yeah, but again,
right? Which means it doesn't even validate what he said. It doesn't say that what he said is not accurate. In actual fact, it says what he said is possibly accurate, because it is information about the ongoing Phase 2 playtest of the Project Awakening title.
Yeah, but you read that in lawyerese, it is, I am not confirming or denying.
Yeah, well, anybody who says I'm not confirming or denying is confirming and not denying. Like,
I'm definitely neither confirming nor denying anything here.
Yeah.
All right.
I neither confirm nor deny the authenticity.
I think everybody who sees neither confirm nor deny knows what that phrase means. You can draw your own conclusions.
Right. Draw your own conclusions.
But if you're not flat denying it, then what are you doing?
By the way, I had to allow Hobbly Globly's comment in there. It was allow or deny. I didn't see that for a while, but I read it. I'm like, it's hilarious, But if Caleb were here, he'd say, Hobby Globly, you can't be like fetish shaming Hilmar. Okay?
If this is his fetish, then yes, this would be kink shaming, I guess.
Kink shaming.
But we don't know, because he hasn't confirmed whether this is his
denied.
Well, I mean, he hasn't denied it. Yeah.
All we know is he runs around with a camera on, naked, jumping in and out of hot tubs. We do know that because we've got that on video.
We have. Right.
And by the way,
we unfortunately have documented evidence about that.
Yeah. By the way, that was before all the AI build your own videos about anything. So, but yeah, so we're just saying. We're not saying it's bad. We're not saying it's good. We're not, we're not saying it's shameful or unshameful. We're just saying it happened. Draw your own conclusions.
Very, very fucking true.
By the way, I'm going to call everybody to the Streamer Elements announcement. If you have anything bad to say about the show, you didn't see it. Just move along. Move along. Okay? It's like that Facebook or Twitter thing that you don't agree with. Just move along. However, if you love the show, just click the link and say how amazingly awesome we are. And how we stick. We stick to Eve topics exclusively, and it's amazing. That's what you're saying there. Thank you.
I would like to point out that I didn't miss this. We didn't miss this, but thank you very much, Sonria66, for the sub. We did see that, by the way.
Yeah, because that link's out there. We better call them out so they gives us a favorable rating. So yeah, thanks for doing that. Awesome. By the way, if that link didn't come up, we wouldn't have said anything.
So yeah, so this dropped, and obviously, the boilerplate kind of response from CCP was not exactly, didn't exactly put it to bed. At least in my eyes, it didn't put the kind of question as to whether this is an Eve clone to bed or not. So I can only assume that it is. And so, how does this affect things when you consider that it is basically, Eve, but with cryptocurrency blockchain stuff? And how deep does the blockchain sort of stuff go in terms of the actual implementation? If as sort of GB in chat has said, it's just where is it if it's just Plex, if it's just crypto in replacement of Plex, then there's that's a lot less implementation of blockchain tech than it could be, and that can potentially limit the amount of damage that somebody who knows a lot about how to manipulate crypto stuff can do to basically Project Awakening, because it seems that you can do quite a lot of damage if you know what you're doing in a blockchain. And we've seen this, right? If anybody's watched the Folding Ideas Dan Olsen's video entitled "Line Goes Up," he kind of really puts it out there and really kind of shows you how much damage somebody who knows how to manipulate smart contracts can do, right?
My question would be, if it's just Plex on the blockchain, then who exactly is doing all the calculations for that? Is that running on the server, or is that running on the client?
Oh shit. I didn't even think of that, because if it's on the client, then you can just manipulate the shit out of that. I mean, if it
wouldn't be the client.
It's not about manipulation. It's about cost, right?
Oh, okay.
If you're running it on the client, then that's added cost for playing this game, right?
Yeah.
Because electricity is not for free.
That's true. Yeah.
It is for me.
We're also. I'm not. I don't know whether we're actually too sure as to what crypto or blockchain it's running on. I have a feeling that it's on Ethereum, or maybe branched from Ethereum, a lot of projects like Web3 projects and stuff like that like to use Ethereum because you can branch Ethereum off into your own little coin that's based on Ethereum. And so essentially from my understanding, I don't own any fucking crypto whatsoever, but I do research some things every so often, so I at least know kind of know as a topic when I'm talking about it as such. But as far as I know, what you do is you basically branch off and make a custom coin, a custom crypto coin, off of the block, or off of a well-known blockchain. So Ethereum, I think you can do it with Ethereum. You can do it with Bitcoin as well. But a lot of people use Ethereum because it has a lot more like utility, a lot more function, right? Because blockchain with Bitcoin, it's it's really just following transactions, right? The ledger just follows transactions, whereas Ethereum, you can do all sorts of things, which is where the smart contracts kind of stuff come into its own. And so what you have to do when you're making this sort of project is you branch it off, and what people have to do is they have to buy Ethereum and then convert it into your particular coin, right? And then they're in your own walled garden as to what they do with that coin, right? But the people who own the project are the gatekeepers of that particular walled garden, right?
I say we go there and we create the B coin. And we just take over the whole game. Everything's done in B coins.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It won't, Rancelli, it won't be in
All right, meeting time, bye guys.
Meeting time? I thought you were sick. You can't go to shit like that.
Dawn has important space things to do.
I have important space things to listen to and pretend to be important.
All right, you go. Pretend.
Take care, Dawn. And enjoy listening to people talk about things.
Yep.
I hope you feel better.
All right. And so one of the interesting things about like the fucking Ethereum, one of the awakening kind of thing, and how obsessed Hilmar is with blockchain stuff.
Yeah,
it is that there was a rock paper shotgun article that surfaced. Again, that was, I think it was released in October of this year. I feel like we missed it entirely. I'm not sure. I can't remember actually like talking about this specifically, because there's a lot of quotes in here that are like quite juicy and quite mental. Soth, if you read this article at all?
No, I have not.
You have not? Oh man, dear God! This article's nuts.
Yeah. By the way, we're tying Bitcoin to the gold standard. Just saying.
Which article is this?
This is the rock paper shotgun article. I'll link it in chat. But it's also I'll link it also in Staff Only real quick, like that one. So I'll link it in chat as well for you guys. It is a fucking eye-bleaching tour de force inside the mind of Hilmar.
Wow.
Oh, thank you very much, Stone. So this article is just nuts, right? I mean, I have kind of like highlighted a few choice kind of things, right? Uh-huh. And unfortunately, nothing of what we say in this show is going to change Hilmar's mind one iota, right? Right at the end of this article is like basically Hilmar talking about how stubborn he is, right? See, there's a bit talking about his blockchain vision. He says, if it takes a few decades to get this right, I mean, the sooner you start, the sooner you're done. It's more than stubbornness, though, as you can see through much of what CCP has done since it was founded in 1997. It's a need to persist. He literally says, I just don't care about how bad people have used blockchain in the past. If people hate me for something, they're assuming I'm going to do that, that I'm not doing. Not my problem, it's their problem. So if we think that he's doing bad things, it's not because he's doing bad things, it's because we think he's doing bad things.
Hey, I came up with a new shirt. Fuck you and your monocle.
That's
okay. Sorry. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry, I went the inner voice. comes out.
You mentioned folding ideas, and I'm suddenly reminded of the flat earther video from him.
Right?
It's
that's a great one too.
It's on that level.
That's a great one too as well. Like him just basically putting to bed the stupid ideas of how people think that the world is flat.
If Hilmar was
actually going around and saying, "Hey, look, I just proved all of their arguments false, and yet I am confident that I will not change their minds. They will find something else, right?"
Yeah.
So
another little bit in this article though is this kind of, I think it's the second or third to last paragraph. However, blockchain's track record has not swayed Peterson. People do stupid things with everything. Like in the 1700s in Holland, people made speculative bubbles with tulips. Are tulips bad? Tulips are not to blame. People are to blame.
People didn't speculate on tulips. They were going away like hot cake. Come on.
Hey.
And a little bit further in that kind of in that sort of paragraph is, I just don't care how bad people have used blockchain in the past. If people hate me for something, they're assuming. If people are hating me for something, they're assuming they're assuming I'm going to do that. I'm not to do that. I'm not doing. I think that's kind of like, that's a fucking terrible. That's a terrible sentence.
Hey.
The sentence is the sentence written, if people hate me for something they're assuming I'm going to do that I'm not doing. That's slightly fucked. But basically, if people are going to hate me for something that they're assuming I'm going to do, but I'm not going to be doing that, then they're wrong. It's not my problem.
No idea what he's doing, but okay.
It's we do know what he's doing.
If he was born in ancient Rome, he'd be playing the fucking violin. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. All right? And he'd say, people just play the violin wrong. I'm playing it right. I mean, give me a fucking break, Hilmar. And
it feels like, I think he thinks like he's like
smart.
Like Edison.
Smart.
He's trying to find how to make the light bulb. How to make the proverbial crypto light bulb.
Yeah.
But, he doesn't mind. He doesn't care if he finds 1,001 different ways of not making the crypto light bulb. He just cares on if he eventually makes the crypto light bulb, right? Unfortunately, there's no guarantee that there is a fucking light bulb at the end of this crypto light bulb fucking experiment that he's trying to do. Right.
I was thinking,
and how many?
Yeah, wrong.
The history of the history of the human race is littered with people who think that they have this great idea, this great technology, this great thing that will basically revolutionize the world, and they've worked on it and worked on it and worked on it and worked on it and worked on it, and guess what? There wasn't a fucking world-shattering thing at the end of it. Right. The only reason why crypto, became so big and was this big kind of, this big thing in society, in sort of the human culture and the zeitgeist and all that kind of shit, was because people found that it was people realized that they could scam the living shit out of people and get away with it. And they just realized that, they could get away with it really easily. And all they needed to do was just develop this hype that people could make a lot of money and have people not realize that the people who are making shitloads of money on this aren't the people who are being brought in, but they were the people who are already there who were scamming the shit out of people, And if you're jumping into crypto late, I'm sorry, you are the mark. And, sorry, Hilmar, you jumped in fucking far too late.
It's like if you wonder who the guy holding the bag is, it's probably you.
Yeah. And if you jumped in fairly early, but you weren't in the know with the people who knew what the fuck was going on, then you ended up like, Sam Bankman-Fried,
Yes.
in jail for a fucking billion years. Yeah. This article's fucking nuts. But yeah, so obviously in this article he talks about.
When did this happen?
This dropped.
Because they say there's no game yet to look at to see how CCP is implementing these ideas. That's demonstrably false. They had a beta, right? We can't talk about the beta because of like NDA bullshit, but we know there was a beta, right? So there is a game.
Yeah, this was published October 25th, 2023 in Rock, Paper, Shotgun.
So you're telling me that they cobbled together a game in 2 months?
And that just adds more validity to what the guy who the apparent leaker, right? Are you going to build a game in 2 months like that is comparable to EVE Online? No.
Easy peasy.
Unless you literally Control C on EVE and then Control V on EVE, right? Like Control V and just literally copy it over and then, poke a few holes in it and fill those holes with crypto.
Yeah, but they also said that they had shown parts of it to investors at FanFest, right?
But that could be smoke and mirrors. It's not like developers haven't used smoke and mirrors to bring investors and bring people in to a thing.
What?
Like I'm not saying, but like
no.
A good kind of a good case for this, a good example of this is Star Citizen. I mean, how long have they been saying it's almost finished? It's almost there. We just need a little longer, but it's almost there. Like I literally saw a video of
frosting.
I literally saw a video of it where they were going from like CitizenCon to CitizenCon to like, various different things where they're going like, it's almost there. We're feature complete, guys, but we're almost there. It just requires a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And it was just literally like year after year after year after year, just like stringing people along. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that there hasn't been advancements. There has been advancements in Star Citizen as they've been going on, but it's just the stringing people along is such a meme, when it comes to Star Citizen, that it's a classic example of how you can just use smoke and mirrors to sort of to keep people thinking, oh yeah, no, it just needs a little bit more investment, right?
Yeah, but we also have someone who did the math on CCP and found that they make more money than Chris Rogers. What's his name again?
Chris Roberts.
Yeah.
Roberts. Yeah.
Makes with Star Citizen, right? They make more money, and they have like a third of the developers. Like,
I mean, I think it's almost like a tenth of the developers at this point, but like, something like that.
So that much less. I mean, like, you gotta ask at some point, where's all the money going?
Where's my money, bitch?
I'm not complaining that they are making money with EVE. I'm complaining that they are not putting anything back into EVE. Right?
True. It's called milking the cow, baby. Milking the cow.
You do wonder where it's going, but like the other kind of thing is, how much do you trust Hilmar when he says, no money has gone into Project Awakening that was destined for EVE Online? I don't know, but he says it's ring fenced.
I gotta tell you, I'm gonna take issue with what you just said. You used Hilmar and trust in the same sentence.
Yes,
Okay.
but I used a lot of things that say that you can't trust. Like how much can you trust? Like
even the illusion. Okay, is banned on the show. It's just banned. You're not allowed to say it. Can't say it.
All right.
Can't say it. It's not hookers and booze. It's hookers and blow. Thank you very much. You had to fix yourself. Good.
Hookers and booze and blow. Hookers and booze and blow.
It's not cheap to import Colombian snow into Iceland.
I mean, true.
Yeah.
Although it's easy to get away with if it's like a pallet and there's like a pallet of snow and a pallet of, cocaine. It's like, I mean, it's just snow.
No,
you just make sure you carry away the right one. Otherwise, you may get like quite annoyed when you go, where did all the cocaine go? Oh, it melted away.
It's in the.
That's not how that works.
It's in the stomach of the sharks, baby. That's where it's hidden.
A bunch of seagulls just falling about, like just completely high.
There you go. Oh, it's a new movie, Cocaine Seagull.
Oh, Cocaine Seagulls. Okay. Oh my god, that's an amazing idea.
Be like, you bring Yoda in and the whole seagull song.
You could say like, you've watched Hitchcock's The Birds. Now watch the mental remake, Cocaine Seagulls.
Okay, Yoda, calm down.
Somebody wants us to explain what's going on.
I love that idea, dude. Like, honestly.
Stay away from my stick. It's a very nice stick.
Cocaine Seagull. Taken out with one Alka-Seltzer.
Go, like Eric, like go ahead, write that script and send it to Hollywood. Like,
I know.
Considering how low on writers they are right now, they gotta eat that shit up.
Oh, I think we need it. We'll collaborate. We'll collaborate on this. It'll be good. It'll be hilarious. By the way, I watched Cocaine Bear, and I know Brisk thinks it's hilarious and loved it, but I was just like, this is terrible. This is a terrible movie. We did start a drinking game, like, you take a drink every time somebody dies. So, yeah. Or that you predict somebody's going to die, right? And you take 2 drinks if you predict it and it's wrong.
I mean, you say that CGI. I kind of like the idea of going old school and just having like fucking, plastic fucking seagulls on sticks.
Everybody's running around, got the little stick, wings are flapping, dive. We're going to hell.
And then it's like, and they'll be like, and then the CSI guys will be there and be like, how did he die? Well, I mean, it's an overdose. He has so much cocaine in his blood.
That's right. It's like
the plot thickens.
How'd he die?
Fucking great idea.
How much? Now, then it comes down to how much cocaine can an unladen seagull carry?
Also, the other question is, how birds can eat spicy stuff because they don't have to. They
don't taste it and such. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they don't taste it. So is it the same with cocaine?
I don't know.
What does cocaine taste like?
I don't know.
I hate when the trick question goes awry. And I'm like, I'm not answering it.
I haven't even smoked marijuana. Yeah. I had a train of thought there that you completely broke, Soth.
I'm sorry.
You're welcome. I like doing that. Well,
it's a skill.
I think we talked about crypto shit for long enough. We talked about something that was actually good this week. Let's talk about something good.
By the way,
we could talk an entire 40 minutes about like the good shit that CCP has been doing.
However, I do want to say breaking the chain of thought is probably a Fleetwood Mac song. Just saying, like breaking the chain of thought, probably.
Right. We are gonna quick warning here. We are gonna complain about a lot of things. About Vanguard.
Are we though?
But we need to be clear on this. This was like a pre-alpha, right? You could call it a tech demo. The way CCP handled it was a bit weird. To some people, it seemed like this was a finished game, and other people had actually seen the FanFest presentation and knew that they worked on this for like roughly a year now, right? So most of us didn't expect much. But yeah, what we've seen in Vanguard and what you can see right now, because you can still go and play it, is a solid base for a good shooter, right?
Oh, it is definitely a solid base for a shooter. Like I've had a good, I've enjoyed playing it multiple rounds and not gotten kind of sick or frustrated or, annoyed by, it like by it being just this like very samey. Like I get that some people kind of like, I wish it was more colorful, etc., but like, understand that the setting that it's in doesn't lend itself to being a multicolored kind of, fantastical kind of wild ride, right? Like you're on a planet in a fucking, crash site.
Yeah, and the thing is, again, they worked on this for a year now, right? This is just the base of the game that they are going to build upon, right? I am sure that they will look on at all of the feedback, and if they want to make a good game, they will actually work on those points, right?
Yeah.
Which is a positive that they actually told us about this so early and actually allowed us to play it so early. Now the downside is that again, a few people didn't watch the FanFest presentation, so they didn't know that this was just a pre-alpha, basically, right?
Yeah,
and I don't think the announcements for it were very clear on that. So I can understand if people are a bit miffed that
there wasn't more to it. Yeah,
there wasn't much, right? Because at this stage in development, there can't be much.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's only a certain amount of work that you can put in, because when you add modules, when you add different things, you add complexity. In that kind of ramps up almost in a sort of like logarithmic kind of way. So keeping it simple, keeping it kind of somewhat bare bones at the moment, it is good because they can concentrate on the things that I think make an important, which is important to an FPS game, which is the feel of the gunplay, and the solidness of the foundation of movement and all that kind of stuff, right? We've seen it in BattleBit, right? BattleBit isn't like an amazing tour de force in terms of like presentation of like art assets and beautiful kind of vistas and all that kind of stuff. It's literally Roblox to some degree, or like voxel. It's literally like a voxel game, but the reason why people love that game is because it concentrated on the aspect of FPS that is fun, which is getting a good feel, good gunplay, and an enjoyable experience. And
there's another thing about Vanguard. This goes more out to CCP. Please let us be part of the development process, right? don't just like go away for another year and like work at it like in the shadows again, so to say, and then come back in a year with another demo. Please don't do that. Please let us be part of it. Give us your ideas of where you want to go with it, and of course there will be feedback that is going to be negative. There will be people who will say, "Oh, this is not fun. That is not fun. Please don't do that." But at least you can see what the player base thinks about it before you put it out there, right? So you can actually change direction more easily. And also, I think we are kind of the ones paying for this development, right? I mean, they're using the money from our subs to make this game, so I feel like we should be part of the development process, like other crowdsourced games do it.
Yeah, to some degree, I would get back. I would get on that kind of. Yeah, I think that's a good way of describing it. Yeah, like they are definitely using it. They haven't said that the finance that they're getting to do this is from some other source, like Awakening, right? So it is definitely money from Eve subs that are going to, and obviously other Eve purchases are going to, fund and develop Vanguard. But it's a solid base. Like I really enjoyed it, and there's a lot of replayability in Vanguard, just as it is at the moment. So, I mean, how was there bits of it that you enjoyed, bits of it that you didn't enjoy? Like, I mean, I made a fucking list of things that I found that were bugs and stuff like that I've already posted to the Discord under the relevant sections and stuff. I got some feedback from CCP devs about it and what have you. I haven't actually posted any of my sort of like thoughts on where the game could go, kind of thing, because like I'm not sure whether that's the sort of feedback that they want. I know that they're really concentrating, and I heard this at the Q&A, that they're really focused on, like they want to hear what people feel is wrong about the game, what the issues in the game, so they can sort it, they can fix those. But there's a lot of aspects of the game that lends itself to allowing the developers to make various different things, right? Like, we all anybody who's played it knows that the best way of being able to see people, see players, see enemies in the game is basically ADSing everything, right? ADSing is aiming down sights, right? That's basically, using right click to aim rather than just, hip firing. ADSing brings up the sort of like the aiming reticle and that kind of thing, but essentially any enemy, any player gets kind of painted in red, right? So what that means is the game clearly has the ability to be able to have an overlay on players and stuff like that they can change in various different ways, which means that technically, I guess you can have like thermal scopes and different scopes, to show heat and that kind of thing. And you can technically have maybe, things that players can wear that can mitigate that, right? Because I kind of feel like if you can always see players, then it's going to be a bit, it's going to be a bit flat, a bit bland. But the fact that you can have this and you can vary this sort of aspect of the game means that you can create play and counterplay, which is cool, because that's kind of something that I hope is going to be a core thing in Vanguard, which is play and counterplay.
I think this problem is exacerbated by the map design.
It is very open, yeah.
Because the map we have is very open. and that's one thing I personally would like to see change a bit. That we get like parts of the map that are like more corridors, right? More buildings and stuff. Don't just give us like bleak, like war zone kind of things. Like give us a bit of variety, right? But again, it's the first map. They're showing off a bit. I remember when we were playing on Thursday. We
got to the core. We got to the Clone Bay kind of core area. Like,
yeah.
And GB does say like, when did the bowhead get a Clone Bay? As far as I know, they didn't. But you never know. You never know. They may have been transporting a Clone Bay to some place and then crashed. Right? I don't know. Like,
who knows? But
does anybody know cool. Does anybody know what a Clone Bay, not connected to a ship versus a Clone Bay in storage looks like when it gets crashed? When something crashes like that? Like, none of us know. So it's open to speculation.
I do have to say, it does look cool, right?
It was really eerie, right?
What I would like to see is more noticeable things that are lying around, right? Just takes like one or two of the like smaller ships and just don't wreck them as much as the bowhead, right? Because the bowhead is like in pieces all over the map.
I don't know. I kind of feel like if they wrecked a Titan, it might be a bit too excessively large as a map.
Yeah. We also had this idea of hey CCP, if you want to bring in a bit more color into the map, we have skins on our ships, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you put a skin on the shipwreck?
Why? Yeah. Why? Like, have the bowhead have one of those like cool fucking multicolored skins.
Yeah, or the skins that have like these like particle effects and shit. Like just have them freaking out.
Oh, the holographic kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, the holographic stuff.
Yeah, like the like the what is it? Like the permaband skins, right? You remember the permaband skins for various different things? Like it literally has a holographic permaband kind of thing. Like, it'll be cool if you had that and it was flickering and glitching and shit like that, right?
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
And as Araya is pointing out, I wouldn't say see ships plummeting from the sky, but seeing an actual battle going on above the planet would also be cool. But all of these are like points. All of that takes time.
Yeah.
And I can see why they haven't done it yet. These are just like cool ideas that I could definitely see them going for. Right?
I want them to be in a frame of mind that, like, if they want to build a system, then build a way for us to counter that system. So if it, like, a classic example, right, that I see a lot of games do incorrectly, right, is they will make, like, say, for example, a heavy suit, and a light suit or a medium suit or stuff like that, right? And you get like the advantages of having that heavy suit being, and the classic disadvantage of the heavy suit is, you got to have lots of heavy armor, but you're slow, right? Well, from a sort of a sci-fi perspective, power armor and all of that, there's no reason why that would be slow, because you'd be powerful. Like, you'd have, like, your armor is essentially like, maxed out in the sense of like providing a lot of you're not the one pushing everything around. Like, you have technology that's helping you do that. You're just allowing it to point the way to you're just moving it the way that you want it to move, rather than actually forcing it to move, right? That kind of thing.
But
like,
here's an idea though. If you have a big powered suit, obviously you need more power to move that suit, right? So you have less power available for your guns, your shields, etc., right?
Yeah.
So you could have it affected that way. Also, if you're spending more power on your suit, obviously you are way more easily spotted by sensors, right? Because there's more energy flowing.
There's more energy flowing, and it's more expensive. It would be more costly to have that kind of stuff cloaked or mitigate that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, and then also on the opposite, you could have a light suit that doesn't get highlighted by everyone ADSing, right? And that way you could kind of give people their niche back of playing more stealthy.
Yeah. The idea of this is playing counterplay, like with the heavy suit, especially like my thought was with the heavy suit was especially the heavy helmet, right? Like if you want a helmet that protects you like heavily, right? Chances are you're not going to have glass to look through, right? Because that's an area where you can get a bullet or a projectile shot straight through, essentially, potentially.
So you're thinking of ECM here?
Exactly. So what we've seen in Eve art and all that kind of thing is entirely closed in an entirely protected helmet that doesn't have a visor in any way, shape, or form. So obviously that sort of thing would operate very much in the sort of like Iron Man style thing of having an internal displays projecting what is seen externally. And so that should be more susceptible to things like EMP grenades, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, but you got to be careful with that, right? Because taking
you can't make
agency away from the player is always
you can't make that an easy thing to counter every single time that you drop, right?
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh, I'll put an EMP grenade in all my things and then be able to counter heavy suits. Like it's going to have to be something that's a bit more involved. But things like that, what I'm talking about is just basically if you have something that provides an advantage, it also needs to have an inherent disadvantage that can be leveraged by other players, if they choose the right direction, right? And that's again, very Eve as well.
We are just spitballing here because we don't have any details on where the dev team wants to go with this, which is why I think it would be cool if they put out like not really a timeline what they want to implement when, but more of like, hey, this is the direction we're going, like these are the mechanics we want to put in the game, right? And obviously this can change. We're not asking for we're not asking for a roadmap. I'm avoiding
roadmaps are notorious for
we do not want a roadmap, right? We just want a rough direction.
We'd like to
where
know
they want to go with this.
Yeah, we'd like to know their ideas as to where they'd like to explore the game. Like, I know that there was some of that kind of in one of Pando streaming on CCP's Twitch, where they were talking a little bit about how, where they kind of want to go. I know that there was a little bit on the Q&A that they did a little bit ago. Unfortunately, the questions that they chose to answer were before the actual event started. So they were, there was some kind of interesting questions. They talked about whether we were going to have like vehicles and stuff. They were not opposed to the idea of vehicles, but it wasn't something that they basically said if it is logical, understandable, and reasonable to have vehicles in the game, then there will be vehicles in the game. But if the game does not require it for it to be fun and for it to be enjoyable and exciting, then there's no real need for them to put it in. Then they're not going to prioritize it in any way, shape, or form. They do want like the sort of like the suits and like the way that you set up your character or set up your kind of your guy to sort of go in. in a very Dust 514 kind of way, they do want to bring that in. So that will make an appearance at some point, but we don't know when as well. So Tinker Teams will be a thing, and they do want to be able to. I mean, a lot of the, you know, we'd like to go down this route sort of conversation was CCP Rotati talking. You know, take that with what you want. Take that the way you want. But you know, he is at least seemingly a part of the team in terms of the development, the sort of like the strategy and development for this game. So, you know, take that however you want. But he does play. He wants to. He at least in that kind of sense wants to sort of see various different aspects of Eve in Vanguard, which includes like people who want to not be the, you know, run and gun type, but want to be the logistical kind of people, or maybe even sort of people who are gathering and building, even, you know, for the rest of their squad. So, yeah, the game can go so many different ways.
Before they go there, they definitely need to build up on the foundation shooter-wise, right?
Yes, it needs to have a good
We do need to address that there is a single gun with two ammo types that feel exactly the same, right?
Almost exactly the same. One definitely has a faster time to kill. The energy ammo definitely does, but like
the way it handles is the same way, right?
Yeah.
So you only have this like one experience of actually shooting in the game. And I think they need to expand on that a lot before they start working on the niche things, right?
Yeah, I think
it's a shooter. Everyone's going to be running around shooting, right?
Yeah.
So you need to nail that first, and then you can build on top of that the niches that people can use for themselves.
Yeah. So there's also some very fundamental shooter sort of based things that don't seem to be in the game yet, right? That I'm wondering, are they going to be part of Vanguard or not? Like, you know, we discussed, I know we discussed like fairly early on, like, there's no leaning.
Before we even started the first match, yeah.
We were like, wait, there's no leaning in the keybinds. Like, what's going on there, right? There's no proning. And I get that proning can be a little bit awkward, because if you've got like, you know, rocky terrain and all that, like you have the situation where like, you know, proning can look really fucking weird. Right, so it's a little bit awkward and a bit weird it's a little awkward to code in to look good, or to look realistic, or to look like, you know, not look really broken or weird. So I get that proning can be a bit of a bitch to actually code in. You know, stuff like that, right? That are sort of that people see these days, that people kind of feel these days are fundamentals to FPS games that aren't actually in Vanguard right now. So, are we getting them? I don't know.
And
I hope
we do need to address that there has been people data mining Vanguard, and yes, there is more in the files about more gun types.
Part of me wonders about some of that. Part of me doesn't. Right, like, you know, the ammo types, for example. Apparently, an ammo type, one of the ammo types is Kestrel. Yeah. What the fuck is that? Like,
yeah, we're just shooting CCP Kestrel at people.
We're shooting CCP Kestrel out of people, or we're shooting actual Kestrel, like, you know, birds of prey out of our guns. Like, I don't know. What is that? Like, you know.
Yeah, but
so I don't know.
It could just be someone going, hey, we have this like this table for ammos. I'll just put in like 5 random ones, and then we populated once we decided what ammo to go for. Same for the guns, right?
It could very well just be that. Like, there's probably a CCP dev there going like, I hope somebody finds that and thinks like that might be a legitimate actual like ammo type that we're thinking of using. Like, yeah, we'll put Kestrel in there just as a fucking laugh. But yeah, like, you know, who knows what bits that were data mined out of it are legit and which ones aren't. Like, I don't know.
No, Kestrel was an ammo type. Pretty sure about that.
What do you mean?
Someone's like saying Kestrel was a gun, not an ammo type.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, it may be it may have been the rifle.
It is listed. Look, it is listed ammo types. Colon.
Yeah,
bullet,
exactly.
energy, heavy railgun, Kestrel, laser. It is listed under ammo types.
I mean, it may have been listed incorrectly in ammo types. It may have just been a joke. I mean,
it also says heavy railgun as an ammo type, so yeah.
I mean, that implies that there's a light railgun, like, as well. But yeah, as you say, you know, railgun, like in an ammo, like it fires the gun. Like we have a gun that will fire the gun that fires the rail. You know, the slug. So you know, who knows whether some of the things that they inputted into this is like, you know, kind of a bit of a joke from the devs to sort of see, you know, what people may think is legit and what isn't. Who knows? Like I know that there are devs who sometimes add little kind of things as little Easter eggs for people who break open these sorts of things, and also some misinformation there to sort of make people think that something, you know, make people think that there is something coming when there isn't something. So you never know.
Please increase the recoil of the assault rifle. Please.
There is not that much recoil, and there are people who are complaining about the recoil being insane. Like, oh, the recoil is far too is nowhere near like a recoil in real life. It's like, well, no shit, it's a game. Like, and it's in, you know, and I can kind of get like, oh, well, you know, in the far future, recoil won't be a thing, right? Because you'll have technology that gets rid of recoil. Well, that isn't fun. Like, you know, you want to just you want to law out any of the sort of actual fun aspects of playing an FPS game, and half the fun and half of the skill also in playing an FPS game is, can you deal with the recoil? And if you can deal with the recoil, if something has a large amount of like squirrely recoil, typically those guns are the more powerful guns. So the better that you are in terms of skill of being able to control that stuff gives you an advantage, right?
Also, the other thing is it is also balancing, right? If I can just go full auto at someone over 100 meters with my assault rifle, why would I even think about using a DMR, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, there's a lot of, and there's a lot of inbuilt and ingrained knowledge that devs have from balancing Eve. And I know that we're talking about balancing in Eve, but you know, they've had a lot of time to balance things, even if they balance it one way and then balance it the other way, and like this, that, and the other. But you know, the idea of not making something so powerful that it ends up basically being the only thing that you use for every situation is something that at least I think CCP have learnt a little bit about.
Also, now that GB is talking about the heavy railgun, I really hope they don't even consider anything that has a trigger delay. Like,
I mean,
please.
So people want
don't do that.
People want the forge gun from DOS 514. And as far as from what I recall, that also did have a delay, but obviously, kind of similar to like a minigun would have a long duration of fire before you have to reload in any way, shape, or form. So, you would have that ramp up, but then you would have kind of like a beam, right? Like the forge gun in DOS 5 and 4, you'd have a beam that basically does a considerable amount of damage and will, be on and last for a little bit until you have to kind of reload that shit. But yeah.
When I say trigger delay, I mean you click the button and then the gun first charges up and then fires, which is just... Some games do that, and I absolutely hate it. Because it makes no sense, right? If you were making a gun, you would have it charge up after firing so that once you hit the trigger, it fires, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I do know where you're coming from with that, and I do hate the ones that like charge up and then fires a single round kind of thing, because that's just like, that's maddening in terms of something that is maddening in terms of its use. If it's something like a forge gun where like, and I forget which weapon it was in like Unreal Tournament and stuff like that, where you actually had like a beam. I know that it was one of the sort of the classic guns in Unreal Tournament. If it's like that, then that's fine, and that's very much like the forge gun.
But also that's not really a long range weapon, right? I'm more thinking of like sniper rifles.
Oh yeah, charged sniper rifles can just fuck right off.
Exactly.
Yeah, those can fuck right off. And I kind of guess, and I know that Soth this is a touchy subject for Soth, but like I do guess, I guess that guns are going to get attachments, and one of those attachments is probably going to be like actual sights rather than just HUD sights that we have at the moment.
So look, I think it's a bit weird that the assault rifle we have has a quote-unquote Picatinny rail, even though it kind of isn't. Right? It's just everything's too big for a Picatinny rail. But we have nothing to put on that. Because we have this like auto red dot that is built into our helmet, apparently.
Well, yeah, I think we don't have anything to put on that because there's no need to put anything on that, right? Like, there's no way of us breaking our, HUD ADS at the moment, so there's no need to actually look down an actual sight that's attached to the Picatinny rail.
And I think the reason they did it this way is because of if you look at how other games do that, they usually solve it by doing something called picture-in-picture, which has an effect on performance, right? You lose like 20 FPS easily doing that. We should also address that the game ran pretty well on high graphic settings, right?
Yeah.
Unless you went for ultra, you could easily get. I think someone said they ran it on a 3060 Ti at high, and they had about 120 FPS.
Yeah, I mean, I saw accounts of people having running on a 3070 and getting like 5 FPS, but I think that was one of those sorts of cases of like, you have other issues. The 3060, 3070 isn't the problem there in any way, shape, or form. Like, that thing's being bottlenecked like crazy, if that's what you're getting. Because I was getting good 60 to 90 FPS out of a 1070 with a Ryzen 5 3600, right? So
and we do have to say this: optimization comes at the end of development, right? So you can expect the game to run better once, if it comes out, because this is still CCP we're talking about.
I'm hoping it comes out. Like, and I, it's not like this isn't like Project Nova, right? Where they showed a in build or in development build, and it was just fucking terrible. You know,
yeah.
This build is good. This build is fun. This build is replayable. It may be as deep as a puddle, but like, you know, that's where long development and, you know, additions like to the gameplay loop kind of come. But the foundation, it's good.
And I think we should start with our last things because we have 3 minutes.
We got 3 minutes left.
Okay.
Holy crap.
I've got a quick one last thing, but like you guys go and go.
Well, I do want to remind CCP that there's still a ticket out for those ships that have been scammed away from AT people.
Oh yeah, we haven't heard the thing about that yet.
Yeah. As far as I know, nothing really happened there yet. A GM has replied apparently, and basically went, well, I gotta hand this over to someone higher up. And that's about it. That's all that has happened to my knowledge.
Were they playing musical, you know, reply to ticket chairs, and like that person was the one left standing or something?
Probably.
I mean, it's a tough problem, but I feel like the longer you take to address this, the harder it gets to address.
Yeah, it does. I mean, we did discuss, like, you know, things that happen in Eve on the Eve, like if the Eve client like says that it's happened, then you should just leave it at that. With you know, when was it? Was not last? Was it last week or the week before? I think it was week before. Show week before. When we had CCP Swift.
Oh yeah, I wasn't here.
Right, that would be why. Okay. Anyway, Erik, one last thing.
I got nothing. It's all you, baby.
You don't have anything? Oh, okay. My one was quick because I wanted to say thank you very much to Tora Bushido for the Prime. So thank you very much. We did see that. I did see that.
Was that your one last thing? Is that it?
It was actually, yes.
All right. Well, thank you for watching, everybody. We will be back. What is next week? Let's see. Let's check. And we have a. Oh, okay. So next week
I believe there is a meta show this week. Okay. So you know, in 1 hour and 1 minute's time, there is a meta show on this channel. So be here for that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and then we're going to make a call eventually here on the show on the 23rd. That's the day before Christmas Eve, so we'll make an audible. So we'll have to figure that
are we
out.
doing a show on Christmas Eve? Because I didn't think we were doing.
No, Christmas Eve will be Sunday. Saturday is the eve of Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah, the eve. I don't know how available I will be for that, but like
of Christmas
we'll discuss that.
We're discussing it, so we'll let you guys all know. On the 16th. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yep.
That's all I got. And we are out of here. Bye. See ya.
Bye.
Have a great weekend, everyone.